So do you want to get it started, or let's start the show, shall we?
Go ahead. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to the Living NLP podcast. My name is Morgan Lane Bennett.
I am Nicholas Rave, so they tell me.
And we are here to talk about NLP and how to live the precepts of NLP as best as we can. And hopefully you can learn how to add a little bit of spice and flavor of the NLP to that which is your life. And the way that we do that is we share an anecdote about NLP stuff that we did in our life, whether in our work or our life, and how that was, effective for us and our clients, and or stuff like that. And then we share a quote of something that we think is interesting or it pertains to our weird love of self-development through reprogramming the human nervous system.
Teaser.
So what's that? Oh, there you go.
That was a teaser for your
Well, it's all a teaser. Everything's a teaser, man. Your hair. Would your hair like to tell us an anecdote?
It has so many opinions that it wants to share with the world.
It's like it goes this way and it goes that way.
Yeah. What I love about this is actually the day after I did something with it. This was waking up this morning and going, fine, cool. I like it.
Love that.
Yeah.
I just every morning take a picture of my hair when I have it.
I remember I've seen some of those pictures.
So it's fun. You maybe put it out there.
You want me to go first? I'll talk about my anecdote. So I'm going to go in a slightly different direction than I normally do, inspired by you and your semi-regular series of sharing your challenges and struggles and insights and fuck ups. Learning opportunities.
Out of my own shit.
Yeah. So I have been dealing with a new threshold, and it's challenging, and I've never been here before. So I'll start by humble bragging. My practice has literally never been fuller than it is right now. I've never had this many clients that I'm working with at once, and it's awesome. I love it. I have a really great group of people that I'm working with right now. I'm excited and involved and engaged with everybody, and it's getting me to the point where I am now having to ask some questions I've never had to ask before, which is like, how do I make a determination between different people to say yes to and different people to turn away? Because I'm literally full at this point. So I'm now at a place where I need to start raising my rates on people who have been seeing me for a really long time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of them are watching right now, but this is a teaser before what's coming. But it's a weird feeling to be in a place where I'm like, I know this is the right thing to do. Like, this is what I need to do. I need to raise my rates. And I already have a strategy of how I think I'm going to handle it. Like, I know who I'm going to talk to first. And I'm waiting until I'm actually at capacity. And then when I have another person who wants to apply, that's when I'm going to go through and start having the conversations. Because what I expect will happen is some of those people will say, okay, I'm ready to go up to the next level. And the way that I was taught to have the let's raise your rates conversation is, what would we need to do? I'm going to raise your rates by 25%, let's say. What would we need to do? How would we need to transform our coaching so that you get twice as much value as what you're getting right now? How would we need to do that? And then that becomes a project that we work on. And then we go, okay, great. That's what we're going to commit to. And you only need to pay me 25% more. And then it's a collaborative process where you actually, by asking the question, you come up with an answer for how can we transform it, and you tie it to an increase in investment. So what will happen when I have that conversation is some people are going to say yes, and they'll go up to the new rate. And some people are going to say, no, I can't do that. And then that will free up an open space for new people to come in at the new rate. Right. So that's the strategy. That's what I'm going to do.
I have a question. But maybe
please.
that's doing more than raising your rate.
What do you mean?
I mean, to me, raising the rate is same product, new price.
Fair enough. But I don't mean like I'm going to do twice as many hours. I mean, what intentions would we need to set? That kind of thing.
Right. I'm just saying like that to me, I'm just on the thing. Well, hey, let's raise the rate, but I'll do more. You'll get more out of it. To me, raise the rate is you're going to get what you're getting out of it. It's going to be the same. And we're going to do the same stuff. I just need to raise my rates or whatever. Now, if you want to do extra more, then I'm going to extra raise my rates because that's where I'm at. And I appreciate these are your people and you love them and you don't want to lose them. But I'm just hearing raise my rates, but also like we're going to double what you're getting for this for a little bit. I know you want to provide value because it's. Yeah,
I do think there's a distinction here that's worth harping on. So to me, the value that a client receives from coaching is not about how many hours I put in or how hard I'm working. It has almost everything to do with the game you're playing or the intentions that you set. So what I'm using it as is an opportunity to challenge them to set bigger goals. I don't intend on showing up any differently, but what I want to do is get them to show up differently so that, and it's more of a thought experiment. It's more of like, what would you need to do to get twice as much value out of it? Right.
But if they're like, well, I need you to do more out of it, you know what I mean? They're like, well, now I'm doing more work for twice as much work.
Not doing that.
So that's just to be clear, because I'm like, I hear you say, I'm going to raise my rates, but I'm like, here's.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all.
Yeah. No, I get you. If I was going to raise my rates and then I was going to end up doing twice as many hours or twice as hard of work.
Or even doing more work.
Right. Yeah.
At all.
No.
It's not raising your rates. It's raising your service.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Which is also a good
so
thing.
To be clear, I'm not doing that. That's not at all the plan. The plan is simply to use it as a new opportunity to set intentions and see if people are willing to go up to that level. So all of that being said, that's my strategy. I feel like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm still dealing with this sense of obligation is a word, a sense of caring, a sense of like, what if there are clients that I've been working with for years and I feel the kind of, therapists talk about a kind of dependency that develops where you get into a rut with people and you start just becoming comfortable with each other. And then it just becomes a way that people are paying to hang out with you, which on the one hand, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. If you've got the money and that's what you want to pay for a friend, we can do that. But I also am like, is that the best use of my time? Is that the place where I'm contributing the highest amount of value?
You have 3 of those people who you've been with forever that don't require a lot of framing, know how to work, that can all become friends and join the same hour, maybe even pay a little less.
Well, so one of my plans is that I want to give people an option. I don't want to just be like, I'm raising my rates or fuck off. What I want to do is I'm going to raise my rates. I am also opening up a group coaching opportunity where you could actually save money and then join in a group. So I feel like this is all the stuff I have to do to like deal with the part of me that's like, you can't abandon these people. But this, I'm sort of talking about that emotional part of me that's the main issue. It's like from a practical strategy perspective, I think I'm fine. The issue is this feeling of like, but they need me. And I don't think that's healthy. That's kind of what I'm challenging here. And I'm airing my dirty laundry.
Yeah, sure. So obligation and dependency and need.
Yeah. And it feels like if I'm worried that they might feel that way, if they might feel abandoned, then it feels like, oh, that's probably an indication of places inside of me where I'm not being the best version of a coach that I could be. Where maybe I'm not pushing them in the same way that I would. Like I've mentioned a client that I have now who's
pushing them out of the nest, even.
Or
into a group coaching class. You know what I mean?
No. You're
down there with more birds.
Totally right. this is a version of pushing somebody out of the nest. And it's like, the nest is what you're comfortable with. And like going up to a new rate is a new nest in a sense. Even if I'm not like kicking them out, but it's crazy how much anxiety I have around this conversation. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm like, this is me doing my practice and using what I know to go, wow, there are some deep triggers in this spot. And I imagine that most coaches who reach a certain level of a certain point in their career, they have to go through this, or you just get stuck at a rut.
Right.
You're not able to grow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not like I'm not working on passive income opportunities and ways to increase my income, but I can tell that it's time to raise my rates. And yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. It feels weird.
Would it, so like, I'm so tempted to just like do a whole thing.
Do it, man. Like, why do you think I'm bringing this up? You asked for my advice last time.
Sure.
So jump in.
Well, when there's that feeling of obligation and dependency and need, right? You said that's the feeling. Is that the feeling we're talking about? The shit comes up and you follow that feeling back to where it goes. What is that feeling?
Yeah. Obligation. I mean, it's a kind of fear of their response, fear of them being angry or disappointed or hurting them. And then the pain that I feel when I'm like, ooh, I did that. Yeah.
Right. So it's right here in your heart kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, and stomach, it tightens like right around my solar plexus.
Right. And so what would you like to have happen?
Interesting. So I'm trying on, do I want all of them to say yes to raising their rates? Is that what I want? That doesn't even seem realistic. Like, it's more like, that's not that I want everybody to end up in the right place. How about that? So I think what I want some people to end up in a group coaching program, because I want a group coaching program. And I want to be able to have a place to be putting people who can't afford the VIP one-on-one. So I want am I going to say this? I want some people to say yes to the new rate. I want some people to say yes to the group. Do I want somebody to say, okay, I'm moving on? I don't like it. I think I want to be okay with that if it happens. How about that?
Sure. Is that the main thing? I want to be okay with that, because if not being okay with that happening is keeping you from having people in your end up in the right place, and being some people saying and some people, right? So,
and it's not just be okay with it. It's I want them to be okay too. Like, I want to have, I guess I want to figure out how to finish. I want to figure out how to end with somebody effectively. Because I feel like a lot of the clients that I've had who have left, it was like the end of a relationship that just fizzled. Or there's a lot of like, I need to take a break, but I'll be back. And then you never hear from them again. And there's probably wounding around that. There's probably like part of me that feels rejected and feels like the one that got dumped, so to speak.
Sure. So that part of you that feels rejected and dumped. That's like what?
It's hard not to pay attention to what you're doing.
Oh yes, I know.
I'm just metaing myself for a second there.
This disease.
Yeah.
Again, follow that the fear, the obligation, the dependency, which goes right to the fear of, oh my God, I'm being rejected and dumped because I don't know how to end a relationship.
Yeah.
Or I have in the past had relationships that ended in ways that were fizzled. Right.
Okay. So a couple thoughts that are coming to mind. Maybe this is too rational mind, but one thought is like, the fear around it going badly
Mhm.
causes it to go badly because you stick around too long. Like there's situations where I saw the red flags and but I didn't do anything about it because I was in that dependency place. So yeah, I'm seeing a bird kicking babies out of the nest with love.
Okay. And again, I don't mean to put my birds in your stream, but if that's helpful. So when you are growing, when you are allowing people the choices and you are knowing how to end a relationship or transform a relationship into
Sure. Yeah.
You are like a bird. And you said a bird sort of lovingly pushing out the nest.
Yeah, I'm imagining there's this feeling of like instinct. Like there is an instinct that is natural and healthy to kick a baby out of the nest even if it's scared.
And even
and
if
go, it's okay, you're going to be okay.
And even if the mama bird is scared too, right? I would imagine the instinct is there because the mama bird's probably not going to want to be like, right? But somehow there's an instinct that you can feel, right?
Yeah.
Natural.
And I'm imagining the opposite. I'm imagining the mama bird that goes, no, I don't want to kick them out of the nest. I need them. And I know mothers like that and fathers.
What happens to all of those birds when that happens?
Right. That is clipping the wings of the baby.
Right.
So, and then they grow and they keep eating your food and they become
back to the,
too big for the nest.
Right. And then the nest falls and then everybody's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when loving bird pushes and instinct and natural and healthy, what kind of instinct is an instinct when natural and healthy?
I mean, other words besides natural and healthy, good, positive. I imagine effortless.
Good and positive and effortless. And when good and positive and effortless and healthy and natural instinct and loving push, what happens next?
Growth.
And growth. And growth. Is there anything more about growth when natural and instinct?
Well, there's something about it doesn't really matter how you feel about it. Like the story that came to mind, there's a guy who writes about procrastination, and he said he once told his son, it's time to make your bed. And he said, but I don't want to. And he said, that has nothing to do with what time it is. You can not want to make your bed the whole time that you are making your bed. How you feel about it is not what time it is. And when I think about there's a kind of strength, like a gentle, loving, solid strength in it's okay for you to not like this. It's okay for you to be scared.
And the gentle, loving strength that you feel. Where in your body?
Well, there was another insight that just came, which is
Oh.
I'm imagining doing that for them, but then I realized there's a part of me that gets scared in those. And if I turn that same gentle strength towards that part and go, it's okay for them to have their feelings and it's okay for you to have yours, this is still the right thing to do.
Yes.
That felt good.
Nice. Well, go ahead and take a moment and feel that goodness. And where can you
Yeah.
feel the goodness? Where in your body?
It's like third chakra,
Mm-hmm.
heart right here.
Yeah. Does that good feeling have a shape or a color?
It's kind of white.
Mm.
It has more of movement to it. It's like there's a
Yeah,
I'm
there you
breathing
go.
in. Like
Right.
I'm reminded of times in the past when one of my kids has gotten hurt and there's nothing to do. You can't make it better. It just hurts. And there's a downward tensing up that you can do as a parent in that situation. And there's also a expanding, like breathing deep and like feeling it. Instead of this, it's
Yes.
this.
So when this
Mm-hmm.
and white and moving and good and strength, gentle, loving strength, when all of that, that's like what?
Mm.
First answer. It's like breaking your neck. Uh, it's so as you focus on that white energy moving with gentle strength.
Mm-hmm. It's coming. Give me a minute. That's like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's hard to come up with a word.
Mm-hmm. Is there an image or a wordlessness of something that you can?
I mean, I keep seeing animals. I keep
Mhm.
seeing animals doing different,
So, is there,
like a cat grabbing the back of the neck
Mhm.
of the kitten.
Yeah.
There's something in there. Um,
So, as you focus your attention on the good, the white flowing feeling from third chakra to the heart that comes from a gentle strength, calm, loving, of understanding everything you've just realized. So, like a cat grabbing a kitten by the scruff of the neck. Yeah. And then what happens?
mm, Relaxed, safe, calm. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to use words I've already used. Strong,
Matter.
powerful.
You know, it doesn't matter. Just
Mm.
try to use the words that are coming into your head, right?
Oops.
So relaxed and safe and calm and strong and powerful. Like what?
Um,
There it is. Right? Just
Yang.
yang, bang, yang,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yang
Mm-hmm.
and yang. And I know you know what you mean by yang, and you can
Mm-hmm.
visualize it and I don't need to ask you what it's like, but you know that yang,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Would that yang be interested in going to nest when time for growth?
It feels like they are the same thing already.
And how do you know? How do you know in your body?
Mm. Oh boy. And now I just got to words like witness. uh, um, uh, Float higher and farther back.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Third point in the triangle, non-dual. Like these are concepts that mean something to me, but
Sure.
like that's where it goes to is like,
Is that
yeah.
good?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when all of that, third point triangle, witness, higher and farther back, knowing that that yang with that calm, loving strength is also in the nest where it's time for growth, where instinct and natural, healthy encouragement for transformation without like ending, fizzle, right? None of that. With all of the strength you have, all of the group coaching, there's all these nets underneath the nest, right? You know there's a safety net and another thing. You can also trust the little birdies, right? When you have this understanding of third point in the triangle above the nest, what do you know now?
That was a good one. That felt like a door opening above the nest. Okay. That one feels like I'm gonna have to think about it.
Okay.
That was a good quantum linguistics moment right there. I felt that like, wait, above the nest? What? There's no above the nest. Oh.
So when you're above the nest,
Yeah.
what do you see?
It's not clear yet.
When you're below the nest, what do you see?
Well, below the nest is not. It is kind of scary,
Mm-hmm.
and
What's there?
uh,
Do you know? Have you
yeah,
looked?
yeah. No, that's where everything was. Like the way things have been was a little below the nest.
Uh-huh.
Getting to the nest is what I thought we were aiming for,
Mm-hmm.
but now above the nest is like that's new territory.
Where do birds live most of their life? It's spend most of their time.
Flying above the nest. Yeah.
What do they have to do before they do that?
Go below the nest to the ground. Mm-hmm. And then
Right?
learn to fly.
And then learn to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And when learn to fly, what happens next?
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't feel like a bad thing. That's like,
No.
oh, I don't know.
And that's a good thing, that it's not, that not knowing isn't a bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah. That feels like uncharted territory, but it's good. It's exciting. It's up. It's better than what came before and unknown.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's new concepts in there for sure that I need to think about more.
Okay. So, how does that feel?
Better. Much better. I mean, just talking it out on a rational level was helpful to be like, oh yeah, it's safety nets, like you say. But there's definitely some patterns in here that shifted in that conversation. Some of the emotional stuff.
How so?
Well, the insight about the thing that I was thinking about doing for others, turning that inside and going, well, that you got to do that both directions.
Yeah.
That was a shift.
Yeah. And what
And
difference is that going to make for you?
um hmm.
When you turn your love in on yourself, what happens?
No, it wasn't exactly the word love, although I see it as, I mean, it is loving, but
Mhm.
it was more about like, there's the energy, the strength, energy that we talked about around your feelings around this
Mhm.
are okay and they're fine, and this is still what's happening. We're still doing this,
Right.
and being able to exercise that muscle more inside as well as outside.
Yeah. And what difference is that going to help you in um, creating a transition for relationships to go upside down, all over, above the nest, below the nest, to a safety nest, and
Yeah.
or fly off and just into whatever? What difference is you turning that around on yourself going to make for them?
Well, less codependency. um, the uh, letting other people have their feelings, and I mean that really is kind of the core of the insights here, is letting other people have their feelings and letting my parts have their feelings too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one more insight that I can think of, which was just a thing to perhaps think about and ponder: the great blue yonder above the nest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one that I actually need to think about, because it triggered some really deep things around my own personal philosophy that were like, ooh, I've never thought of that space before. So I actually feel like I want to meditate on that one.
Nice.
So
So,
I'll maybe bring a report back on
cool.
what I get around that.
Was this helpful?
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. My pleasure, my friend. Good problems to have. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Not complaining
Good
at all.
challenges to face.
Yeah.
And my favorite way of doing it is like, how is this me?
Right.
How is this me? What can I learn about myself that will help me do this? Because
Yep.
I know you can do an awesome group coaching program where they still will get 4 times as much out of whatever, even if they pay a quarter of the price, whatever. Like they're still going to get a ton out of it. You know that.
Yeah. 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 I again, it wasn't the practical, like on a rational level. I'm like, I know this is the right move.
Right.
This was more about, it was an energy thing and a mindset thing. And like, it was deep animal triggers.
Yeah.
And that's what deep animal triggers, eh? Yeah. So that's what we did.
Nice.
So, cool. Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah. Grab your guys.
I will say, full disclosure, the hardest part of that was dealing with calming the part of me down that was like, oh my God, this is taking so long. We can't do an entire show that's just this.
No, I mean, I could have wrapped it up at any one of those points, but I know,
but I was going like, let Morgan lead this.
And, just it was this, with that, and I wasn't in a rush, but I could, okay, great. Bird, yes, bye. But it seemed like you got a little bit of extra the more we kind of went down.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good,
awesome.
Good demonstration for sure.
Awesome. Good job.
So you got an anecdote, and we want to do quick quotes or what?
I'll keep it short. My anecdote. So, and I've talked about things like this in the past about framing, how, making information mean what you want it to mean. So I bought a new car, a Subaru Forester. It's lovely. It does all kinds of wonderful things. It also does something that annoys me when I was in my old car that other people's cars do. It, like, you're at traffic and just the engine, when you stop at a stoplight, the engine shuts off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and then it jams back up when you start. It's like, I don't care for that. It's not something that I was like, when someone, I'm like, did my car just die? Whatever. So there's a lot of things in that car that you can turn off, little things that it does, you can turn off, and you can turn that off, but you can't leave it off. So every time I'm in the car, when I start the car, I have to push a little button that undoes that. And there's a little A button, and it's like a circle and an A. I don't know what it means. But for a while, I was like, this is the most fucking annoying. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to this is going to bother me.
Yeah.
Wherever for the rest of this car. Or every time I push this button, I can make it mean something else.
Yeah.
Which could mean anything I want. But for me, it's got an A, and it says, I appreciate. And every time I push that button, I now appreciate something different. It's kind of like my gratitude practice.
Yeah.
Adrienne says she has to push the proximity alert button off every time she gets in her car. So I have a Subaru. I don't know if you have, it's the same thing. But so every time I do that, I am now training my brain to, like, every time I do this thing, which could be annoying, has been annoying, may on occasion still be annoying in the future, but I'm going, I appreciate, boop. Okay, cool. Thanks, Subaru, for this thing you're making me do. And I'm going to use my NLP to either program myself to this button means what I want it to mean, or it's going to mean, God damn it, fuck, I bought this car, every time I get in my car.
Yeah.
So it's just a simple, super simple anchor, whatever, like reframe, call it what you will, basic NLP.
Yeah.
But to really, and something that I would use every day, that's either going to go up or it's going to go down or whatever, but to choose to say this input's going to not mean that. It's going to mean what I choose it to mean. It was mostly you
can either be annoyed or amused, but not both at the same time. So if you have a thing that annoys you, you get to decide if you're just, especially if it's a thing you encounter frequently,
right.
Like, why not go, you know what? Why do I need to let that annoy me? If it's going to be, I have to deal with it, why not figure out how to make it feel or mean something different? That is alchemy to me. That is taking lead and turning it into gold.
Right. And there's a million ways that anybody could take this. I've done it with dishes or vacuuming or cleaning or whatever, brushing your teeth, all that stuff.
Why not learn to love all the things that you need to do and that
if you got to do it,
should be doing.
If you got to do it, and I don't have to do it. It just, I mean, technically it being on is what annoys me. So I'm turning my correction of an annoyance into something that brings me appreciation. So just a simple NLP-ness.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the reasons that, like, you hear me every time I think you and I have talked recently, I have mentioned something positive about exercise, because right now I am retraining myself to start exercising and to love it. So every time I exercise, I talk about how much I enjoy it, how good it feels to be getting strong again, how excited I am that I've got blisters on my hands, how good it feels to feel the soreness in my muscles and go, oh, I love this. I could hate it. Most people do, but I am actively deciding to love it so that because I want to do it. So I might as well love it. Yeah.
You might as well love it. I want to do it, so I might as well love it. What is the little kitty cat with the scruff of the neck think of that?
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't, that has nothing to do with what time it is. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I guess this is the next step after that is like that's do it anyway. But this is a little bit more, well, if you are going to do it anyway, why not figure out how to like it too?
Right.
Yeah.
So I have 3 minutes. We can do quick quotes if you want, just blast them out and then have
Sure. Mine is going to be a little off, but
also
a little weird, but I can get through it quickly.
All right. You can go ahead if you want, or
I'll do mine first. So this is a quote that's going to lead to a potential homework assignment for you.
Okay.
So an Emerson quote. It's very famous. What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say.
I like it.
Yeah. What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. So this is NLP presupposition, calibrate on behavior, right?
Right.
But it made me think about a quote or a concept that I heard in a clip from a podcast that I want to suggest you go and check out. So have you ever heard Harmontown, Dan Harmon's podcast?
Some of it.
Dan Harmon of Rick and Morty fame. Yeah. So if you go on YouTube and you look up Harmontown essence, there's a video on there that says find your essence. Mm-hmm. And it talks about how this group of Rob Schraub and Dan Harmon and several other people who kind of are all part of that crew, how they were all in this acting class with this really famous acting teacher who would do this exercise about finding your essence. And the exercise was, and I'm bringing this up because I want to propose that first you check it out and then see if you want to go do this at some point. So the exercise is this. He said this was back, they would go to the airport back when you could go like into the terminal. You can't do that now, but you go to a place with lots of people and lots of people of different demographics and different backgrounds. And you walk up to a person and you say, hey, I'm doing this psychology class or an acting class. And I wonder if I could ask you a few questions about my friend over there. And you point to the other person, and without hearing them, I wonder if you could just pick some words that you would use to describe them. And you have a bunch of descriptive adjectives and words, and you get people to start basically judging you from across the room with no consequences, anonymously judging a person and going, oh, like, so what he said is this exercise is insane. It's so weird how the acting teacher said this: if you trust me, do it 5 times. If you don't trust me, do it 500 times. And what you'll find, same fucking responses. Mm. People will assess a person's essence based on this kind of observation and the context that's set up. And like Dan has this whole bit about like, why do so many people call me sarcastic? Right. Anyway, listen to the clip, because the way they talk about like how people will reject the essence that other people see is so obvious about them.
All right. Well, okay. So I got 1 minute to get you to come from slightly above the nest, down in the nest.
All right.
There's a little kitty cat and all that strength, everything you've just talked about, white feeling inside going from your chakra and everything you're about to go think about. To achieve enlightenment and or making sure everybody's in the right place and raising your rates, the real knowledge that you are a robot and have been programmed, and that you can reprogram your brain according to your true will. To do that, you must first put yourself aside.
This is from, you didn't mention the book.
Oh, sorry. It's from Undoing Yourself by Christopher Hyatt. Mostly I'm just saying, to achieve what you want. And the real knowledge that you're a robot and if in program, like a little button that we push and change how we do it, change the meaning of things. It doesn't matter what time it is. First, you must put yourself aside. Right? You're yourself, right? And when yourself is aside and Yang's there doing, oh, hey, buddy, you need some action? Here's some action with the heart of Yin. Put a little bit of action there.
Mm-hmm.
Sit with that. I am going to have to split in a matter. But
let's wrap it up. I love that quote.
Yeah, for you to have.
I'm not sure everybody realized you were sharing your quote yet, though, when you did it. Right.
Well, it's because I'm in a hurry to get out of here.
Yeah, no problem.
So sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to rush you, but I am in a rush. So, all right, bud. I'll look at this thing. You look
for your wisdom and insight and skill. I appreciate it. I hope that was enjoyable to other people
I would say,
watching.
Look up and then also go up and look down.
Excellent.
Everybody, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace, love, and NLP, everyone.